Welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, we will take you on a journey to explore the fascinating world of fashion in ancient times, spanning up to 500 AD. From the symbolic and religious significance of clothing in ancient Egypt, to the practicality of clothing in harsh climatic conditions of Mesopotamia, to the simplicity and elegance of ancient Greek fashion, and the distinct features of ancient Roman fashion heavily influenced by Greek style. We will also delve into the modesty and luxury of ancient Chinese fashion, the diversity of clothing in ancient India influenced by regional cultures and traditions, and the opulence of ancient Persia. Join us as we uncover the various fashion styles that were influenced by geography, climate, social status, and cultural practices in different civilizations of the ancient world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos on fashion history. Let's dive in. Ancient times, spanning up to 500 AD, were characterized by a wide variety of fashion styles that were influenced by various factors such as geography, climate, social status, and cultural practices. Here's a detailed overview of fashion in ancient times. Ancient Egypt, 3100 BC to 332 BC. Fashion in ancient Egypt was highly symbolic and had significant religious and social significance. The clothing of the ancient Egyptians was made from linen, which was a commonly available fabric. Men typically wore loincloths or short kilts, while women wore long, fitted dresses. The dresses were usually made from white linen and were often pleated and decorated with colorful beaded collars, belts, and jewelry. Both men and women wore various types of jewelry, including rings, bracelets, necklaces, and earrings, which were made from gold, silver, and precious stones. Sandals were the common footwear, and headdresses such as the iconic memes, a striped cloth wrapped around the head, were also worn. Ancient Mesopotamia, 3500 BC to 539 BC, Mesopotamia, located in the region of modern-day Iraq, had a fashion that was highly influenced by the harsh climatic conditions. The people wore clothes made from wool and linen, which were practical for the hot summers and cold winters. Men typically wore knee-length skirts or tunics with fringes and sashes, while women wore long, loose-fitting dresses with shawls or veils to cover their heads. Both men and women wore jewelry made from precious metals and gemstones, such as necklaces, earrings, and bracelets. Footwear was usually in the form of sandals made from leather. Ancient Greece, 800 BC to 146 BC, ancient Greek fashion was known for its simplicity and elegance. Clothing was made from natural fibers like linen and wool. Men typically wore a tunic, known as a chiton, which was a rectangular piece of fabric draped around the body and fastened with pins or brooches. Women wore a peplos, which was a long, belted garment that could be worn as a dress or a tunic. Over the peplos, women would often wear a himation, a rectangular piece of fabric draped over the shoulders like a shawl. Greek fashion also included various types of robes, cloaks, and togas, which were worn for specific occasions or by people of different social statuses. Sandals were the common footwear, and jewelry such as earrings, bracelets, and necklaces made from metals and gemstones were popular adornments. Ancient Rome, 753 BC to 476 AD. Ancient Roman fashion was heavily influenced by the Greek style but also had its distinct features. The Romans used wool, linen, and silk to make their clothing. Men typically wore a knee-length tunic, known as a tunica, which could be plain or decorated with stripes or patterns. Over the tunica, men would wear a toga, a large, draped garment that was worn as a symbol of Roman citizenship and usually reserved for formal occasions. Women wore a stola, which was a long, sleeveless dress with a belt at the waist, and a pala, a rectangular shawl-like garment that could be draped over the head or shoulders. Both men and women wore various types of outer garments such as cloaks and capes. Sandals were the common footwear, and jewelry made from gold, silver, and gemstones such as rings, bracelets, and necklaces were popular among the upper class. Ancient China, 1600 BC to 618 AD. Ancient Chinese fashion was influenced by the Confucian philosophy of modesty, which emphasized simple and modest clothing. Clothing was typically made from silk, which was highly prized and considered a luxury fabric. The ancient Chinese wore robes known as hanfu, which were loose-fitting, with wide sleeves and long hemlines. The style and color of the hanfu varied depending on the wearer's social status and the occasion. Women's hanfu often had additional layers, such as a long skirt or a jacket, and were fastened with silk sashes or ribbons. The ancient Chinese also placed a high value on accessories such as jade ornaments, hairpins, and elaborate headdresses, which were worn as symbols of wealth and status. Footwear in ancient China included sandals, boots, and cloth shoes made from silk or other fabrics. Ancient India, 2500 BC to 500 AD. Fashion in ancient India was diverse and influenced by various regional cultures and traditions. Clothing was made from fabrics such as cotton, silk, and wool. Men typically wore a dhoti, which was a rectangular piece of fabric draped around the waist and legs, or a turban on the head. Women wore saris, which were long pieces of fabric draped around the body, with a blouse or bodice. The style and patterns of the saris varied depending on the region and occasion. Jewelry played a significant role in ancient Indian fashion, and both men and women wore a wide range of accessories, including necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, and anklets, often made from gold, silver, and precious stones. Footwear included sandals and slippers made from leather or fabric, and decorative elements such as embroidery, beads, and mirror work were common in ancient Indian clothing. Ancient Persia, 550 BC to 651 AD. Fashion in ancient Persia, now modern-day Iran, was known for its opulence and luxurious fabrics. Clothing was made from silk, wool, and cotton, and often featured intricate embroidery and decorations. Men typically wore tunics with long sleeves, pants, and cloaks or robes, often adorned with belts and sashes. Women wore long, flowing dresses with loose sleeves and often added layers of veils or shawls for modesty. Persian fashion also included various types of caps, turbans, and headdresses. Jewelry was highly valued, and both men and women wore earrings, necklaces, bracelets, and rings, often made from precious metals and gemstones. Footwear included sandals and soft leather boots. Ancient Mesoamerica, 1200 BC to 1521 AD. Fashion in ancient Mesoamerica, including civilizations such as the Maya and Aztecs, was influenced by the tropical climate and local resources. Clothing was made from cotton, agave fibers, and animal hides. Men typically wore loincloths or short tunics, often adorned with feathers, beads, and intricate embroidery. Women wore long skirts and blouses, which were also decorated with colorful embroidery and beads. The ancient Mesoamericans also used body paint and tattoos as a form of adornment. Jewelry made from shells, stones, and precious metals was popular, and headdresses, belts, and anklets were common accessories. Footwear was minimal, with sandals or bare feet being the norm. Thanks for watching.